What you are about to see is the exceptional intelligence of Norman Finkelstein and humiliation of Alan Dershowitz and his Zionist views. The topic of discussion here was the cause of suffering of Palestinians, and as every Zionist, Alan Dershowitz was quick to put all the blame on Hamas. Here is how Norman Finkelstein responded.
The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, 1,000 humanitarian and economic organizations have all reached the same conclusion. It's very simple. The main cause of the disaster in Gaza is Israel's illegal blockade of that parcel of land. Full stop.
That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's false.
Who's wrong? Who's wrong? UNCTAD is
That's
wrong.
false.
The World Bank is
blockade,
wrong. The International Monetary Fund is wrong. They're all wrong.
Yes.
Are they all anti-Semitic?
Yes,
is that what's going on?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. They're wrong. I happen to know
So
more
why
about
are they
the
all
law
wrong?
than any of them. Because the blockade was completely lawful. It was designed to prevent the importation and then the use of rockets against Israel. It's perfectly lawful for a country to engage in a blockade. That is, you're not, let me finish. You can't have a double, look, Israel is exposed to a double standard, but we're not letting you impose a double standard on me. No, I'm going to finish my statement, and you're not going to interrupt me. So understand me. The military occupation was lawful. The blockade was lawful. Every country has the right to defend itself from rockets, from terror tunnels, from people coming over the border, murdering and kidnapping people. Those are all lawful. I'm telling you that as an expert in international law and the law of war.
Okay.
If you want to dispute me, get an expert who knows something about international law.
Okay.
Not a polemicist like
Professor
you.
Dershowitz, okay. Professor Dershowitz, just as a matter of fact, I teach the laws of war. I've been teaching it for the last 5 years. To my understanding,
you're biased.
Professor Dershowitz. Okay, Professor Dershowitz, let's agree. I'm completely ignorant. Let's take that as a point of departure. How does it come to be that every humanitarian and political body in the world has declared that the blockade of Gaza constitutes collective punishment and therefore is a violation, a breach of international law, a war crime under international law? How did that come to pass?
They're wrong.
How is it that
first of all, you're wrong.
They're all wrong.
No, you're not.
They're all
you're not
wrong,
right.
Except
you're
Alan
not right.
Dershowitz.
No.
Except
you're wrong. You're wrong
sir,
in describing.
Professor Dershowitz.
You're wrong in describing every group. There are many
name
groups.
Me one. Okay. Professor Dershowitz, name me one international legal body or human rights organization. Name me one. I'll take the pause. Name me one that says the blockade of Gaza is not collective punishment. Name me one.
The Lawfare Project in the United States.
The Lawfare Project. I said, name me one international legal or political body.
It is.
One.
It is.
Everybody's listening now.
Legal body.
Piers Morgan has a very large audience. Name me one. Name me one international or legal or political body that says the blockade of Gaza is legal. Name me one.
It is legal, and every organization that I have been associated with, the Lawfare Project, the project run by a woman named Leitner, an international project, were all concluded that the blockade is legal. Also, the Israeli Supreme let me finish. The Israeli Supreme Court, which is above reproach and which is much fairer than the International Court of Justice, has also, with limits, has said that blockades designed to prevent the bringing of rockets to Israel is lawful. Also, use your common sense. What possible reason would there be for allowing a group in Gaza, a group of Hamas, to send rockets without trying to blockade them from bringing the rockets in and building tunnels? Use your common sense. Of course it's unlawful. Okay. Every country in the world would do exactly the same as Israel did.
Listen, I think we've exhausted this part of the debate.
From being
I do want to, before we run out of time, we only have about 5.
The smile and silence of Norman Finkelstein says it all. And note that Alan Dershowitz was first accusing Norman Finkelstein of unfamiliarity with international law, but now resorting to using common sense instead of sticking with the decisions of international bodies that use international law. This shows the weak and fake lies of Zionists. Now let's discuss the organizations which declared that the inhumane blockade of Gaza is completely legal. First, he named the Lawfare Project. So let's see what type of cases do Lawfare Project handles. These lawsuits include legal battle against Kuwait Airways for its refusal to fly Israeli passengers, legal battle against the boycotts of Israel and Spain. And in November 2017, the Lawfare Project supported a lawsuit by the Belgian Federation of Jewish Organizations against a ban on the Jewish ritual religious slaughter of animals. And in 2018, a lawsuit against the Irish Occupied Territories Bill, which aimed to criminalize trade with Israeli settlers. So anyone with a little common sense can realize that Lawfare Project either handle cases to protect the rights of Jews and in extreme case, this lawfare fight to protect Zionist propaganda. And secondly, he said that Israeli Supreme Court have declared the blockade of Gaza to be legal. Leaving aside his claim that Israeli Supreme Court is much more fair than International Court of Justice, let's get to the main issue here. First of all, the blockade of Gaza is a problem of international law, and no rulings from Israeli Supreme Court have any meaning here. It would just be like the Supreme Court of Russia declaring that the invasion of Ukraine is completely legal. And secondly, if we pay just a little attention to the ruling of Supreme Court of Israel, we can realize that Zionism is the dominating factors in its decisions. Some other rulings of Israeli Supreme Court include upholding the destruction of Palestinian homes, facilitating the expansion of Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank, and declaring the construction of the separation barrier in West Bank legal. And with no surprise, every international legal body have completely opposite decisions on all these matters, so it shows that Israeli Supreme Court is nothing more than a puppet for Zionist propaganda. On the other hand, Norman Finkelstein argued on the basis of the decisions of well-known human rights organizations without adding any of his own personal sentiments. And at the end, I must praise Norman Finkelstein, who have spent his whole life learning about the conflict between Palestine and Israel and its relation to international law, and then raising his voice for the oppressed ones. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe our channel.